Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectMeWithTiffany. Welcome to the podcast and posse, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I want you to stop doing something starting right now, today, with this episode. Enough's enough already of the whole comparison thing. I call it the comparison spin cycle that leads to the comparison sinkhole. And what comparison really is, you guys, is a form of self-sabotage. And here's what I mean by that. We go on to social media, or maybe we're at a networking event, or maybe we're watching TV or in a bookstore, and we start seeing people who have what we want to have, what we aspire to have, what we think that they have. We want some of that. It could be their mood. It could be their look, their attitude, their lifestyle, their money, their success. It could be the fact they have a family, a great husband from what it looks like, kids, anything. You can go down this whole comparison spin cycle and sinkhole on any level. It's not just around money or business or things. It can be with a lot of stuff. I can tell you that I have gone down it many times when it comes to, and I'm doing air quotes, family. Since I only have one living relative, especially during the holidays and stuff like that, even on non-holiday occasions, and I see people who are close with their families, a lot of family support. I've always coveted that and dreamed for that and longed for that. And it's something I'll never have, right? Not in the blood form. I've had to create that in a community and a friendship form. But that little girl inside me still longs for that. So if I'm kind of in a bad way or in a low vibe state and I'm scrolling online, or even if I'm out, at the grocery store and I see that, what it turns into if I'm not being conscious of it is a hardcore shame hit, a very low vibe feeling. I want something that I can't have, I don't have now, and I go instantly into a lacking mindset. So that's exactly what happens whether you're offline or online in any area of your life. It goes right to lack. It goes right to what you don't have. It sucks all the gratitude out of your brain, out of the room, out of every cell of your body. And what happens when we're in a low vibe, lacking, focused on what we don't have, what we wish we had, then it goes into some hopeless state. It can go into shame. It can go into discouragement, disappointment, anger, sadness, depression, all these low vibe thinking, these types of thinking, right? It can go into that spot, which it likely does. It doesn't just sit usually in the spin cycle. You might sit in that spin cycle for 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. but pretty soon that goes into the sinkhole, the low vibe thinking. Do you think that anything positive, productive, helpful to the world, for the greater good, for yourself, your family, to others, comes out of being in this spin cycle or sinkhole of comparisonitis? Hell no, it doesn't. Then why is it we continue to find ourselves there? Maybe you're not someone who finds yourself there every day, but guaranteed, I bet, unless you've done some serious work around it, you find yourself there at least once a week. For sure. And on weeks, maybe you're not feeling great. Some shit went down in your business. You got an unexpected bill. You had a breakup, a death. You had something happen. Guaranteed, it might even be every day. It might be for most of the day. All right. I've sat in those low vibe states. I've been in that sinkhole and I've sat there all day before. No es bueno, people. No es bueno. That's why I feel so compelled to do this episode today at the top of the year, because I want you to get a hold of this. We're human beings. We're not going to all of a sudden stop comparing. It's not going to happen. But what we can do is we can snap ourselves out of it much faster. It's progress, not perfection. It's the same as self-doubt, self-judgment, self-abuse, all those things, right? People pleasing. We're not all of a sudden, right, just going to stop doing all of those behaviors or never do them again. But the goal is to lessen and lessen and lessen them. It becomes a weird, ingrained, almost an addictive quality when it comes to comparison, the self-sabotage. So here's what the cycle looks like, and you guys can tell me if you relate. This is going to take, a pretty big spoonful of humility hearing this from me. And I had to hear it from someone else, so I'm paying it forward because I've done the work and I continue to do the work. But it's not always fun to admit this stuff about yourself, but that's where you can start making the change for yourself, is when you first can see it, identify it, and admit it. And then we can work on getting ourselves out of it. So you might have, maybe you are not getting the sales you hoped you would get, or the money coming in, whether it's your side hustle, your business, your network marketing, your coaching. Maybe you are in a corporate job and you didn't get the bonus or the raise that you wanted. It usually starts from something happening something happening you didn't want to happen, or something didn't go the way you wanted to go. You're in a state of disappointment, or you're in a feeling of it, meaning you just feel like crap. Maybe you're PMSing, maybe you have a cold, maybe you didn't sleep well, maybe you're a new mom and you're on 4 hours of sleep. Maybe you have a crappy relationship and that's draining you. So it starts from there. If you notice when you're like happy, pappy, hippie, skippy, it's like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for the leaves on the tree and my coffee tastes great. And I don't care. I have a zit on my face. I'll show up on a live. Like when we're in a high vibe state, comparisonitis is very, very, very rare. Very rare. So it starts from that lower vibe state. Then somehow you end up online, right? And you end up online, either you're dissociating because you're trying to kind of numb out, or you're doing legitimate market research. You're posting your own shit. You're looking at other people's stuff. And before you know it, you're down this whole scroll hole that you're looking at other people's accounts. An hour's gone by now. That's not a good sign already if that's happening, right? Because now you're not being productive. You're being caught up in other people's stuff versus being focused on yourself. So now you're in there. And then your mind starts latching on to seeing all these things, being inundated with all these things of pretty pictures and launches and products. And I'm doing great. And I just, I eat cookies all day and I have a 6-pack and, I make $1 million while I sleep and I have a perfect family and we all wear matching outfits for every photo we take. I'm going to vomit. So you start seeing all that and your mind is like, now starts shifting its focus on whatever the hell you intended to get on there to do. Maybe it was to, continue to build your following, to serve your audience. Maybe it was to see, some competitive research or, that kind of stuff. You had good intentions. And then it very quickly slips into this low vibe comparisonitis thing. And why do we stay there? And you know who you are who are listening, where it's like, you even have a realization at some point, I need to get offline. I am not doing anything productive. This doesn't feel good. Yet you keep going, right? That's why I'm saying there's an addictive quality to it, and it's a form of self-sabotage. Why would we be addicted to something that doesn't feel good? This is way too short of an episode for me to get in the details of it, but it's because it's a familiar emotion for you. It is much more familiar for most people to feel low vibe thoughts and feelings than it is to feel high vibe feelings. It can be a comfortable state because maybe you were in that most of your life. It is, a subtle form of self-sabotage because your self-fulfilling prophecy of, I don't really know if this is going to really work or if I can do this or if I'm cut out to do this or if my dreams can really manifest into something. I don't know if blah, blah, blah is really possible for me. And then subconsciously, you're actually seeking out evidence to prove that it can't. And you'll fucking find it online. You'll find it in real life. You'll find it at the grocery store. You'll find it at the gym. You'll find it at Starbucks. You will for sure find it. And it doesn't have to be conscious seeking. It can be subconscious seeking. But what is conscious is there at some point, I know you guys, whether you're in person or you're online, you know that you're having a string of a lot of thoughts of comparing, of low vibe thinking that isn't good. And you have a choice now. You have a choice to do something to stop it. And guess what? It's not you staying online or sitting there in that event at that moment. What works is if it's online, you got to stop the scroll. I want you to get offline. You need to remove yourself from that, which is very easy to do. If you're having a hard time doing that and it's really difficult for you, you got to be honest with yourself. There's an addictive quality in there. You're actually addicted. You're addicted to giving yourself shame hits. And I know it sounds insane, and it is actually incredibly common. So you're addicted to giving yourself this because it causes a lot of negative excitement inside. It causes a lot of people end up then going into their victim mentality, which is a comfortable state. They can go into a martyr mentality, which is a comfortable state, meaning it's familiar and comfortable. That doesn't mean it feels good, but it's familiar and comfortable. So I want you to notice how hard it is for you to stop. But you've got to stop. Stop, put it down. If you need to set a timer and not on your phone, like on the microwave, on your watch, set a timer. I want you to set a timer and you have to go do something else. And it can't be for 10 minutes. I mean, it needs to be for 90 minutes. I need you to walk away. Because why would you stay in an environment that is making you feel like crap? Whether it's in person or online, even if what's making you feel like crap is your own thinking, your own subconscious self-sabotage, your own thoughts, why would you stay somewhere that's making you feel like crap, even if it's in your own brain? Okay, would you stay? I hope to God you wouldn't. Would you stay at a party where everyone was ridiculing you, pointing at you, making fun of you, putting you down, turning their back on you? I hope you wouldn't stay. I hope in the hell you would get out of there. So why would you stay in that same frame of mind when you're doing it to yourself? It's a form of self-abuse. So stop the damn scroll. I don't want you touching your phone. And all you people have a story now. I can't turn off my phone. I have kids. I have a dying aunt in the hospital. I didn't say turn off your phone. I said stop the damn scroll. You can have your phone there, turn it upside down, set a timer on something else, and go do something productive. Go write posts, write content, business plan. If you have a podcast, do that. There's a gazillion things that you can do. If you're starting a business, building a business, go work on some of that stuff. And if for whatever reason you're shockingly caught up with all of that, I don't care. Go reorganize your closet, your sock drawer, go to the gym, do something else, because we need you to leave that space in your mind. Just like I said, the party analogy, the negative committee in your mind has taken over, and you've got to get out of that negative party. We've got to regroup your mind and put it somewhere else. And it's not as simple as you sitting there meditating and doing affirmations. All right. You need to physically move rooms, leave the house, go do some errands, something like that. Now, if you are in person and you're at a networking event, you are working out of a coffee shop, you're in your day job, your office job, whatever it is, something that's in person, I still want you to remove yourself from the situation, even though it's in your own head. You need to, basically, it's almost like a loving form of shocking yourself, like almost like, you know how you see like people like slapping themselves, like slap yourself out of it. I just slapped myself really hard, by the way. That was unintentional. I really just woke myself up. Wow. You need to kind of slap yourself out of it. I mean it in a loving way, not how hard I just did it. Wow. All that boxing is really paying off. So I would want you to remove yourself. That doesn't mean, oh, Tiffany, I paid $1,000 for this networking event. I don't want to leave. I didn't say you have to leave and never come back. Leave and go fill your water bottle and get a snack. Leave and walk around the building. Leave and go to the bathroom and splash water on your face. And if you're like, girl, my eyelashes are going to come off, fine. Don't splash water on your face. I want you to wash your hands for a solid minute and focus on feeling the water. You need to reground yourself. If that means you taking off your shoes and walking in the lobby, again, it's really good. Go get something to drink. It can even be hot water with lemon, and you're focusing on that. Pick up the phone and call a friend who's not at that networking conference, or call a significant other, someone who you know is positive, and check in on them. Not tell them, oh my God, I can't stop comparing myself. I'm miserable here. I don't want, because that's going to keep you in that same mindset. So I want you to, pick up the phone and call. Maybe you're FaceTiming your kids. Maybe you call a friend, a family member, your coach, whatever, and call and just check in on someone. Hey, I was thinking about it. You wanted to see what you were up to, what you're doing. It'll get you out of yourself. And that's what we need to do, is we kind of have to do I just restarted my entire MacBook system before I came on here. A lot of my stuff wasn't working. And what's the first thing you do when it's not working? You might close all your applications. You might go like, what the fuck, a few times. And then eventually you're going to do a full restart of your system. And then I did a full restart of my system, and thank God everything worked. So this is the same thing we're doing for your brain, right? Restart. What this also does is you get in a habit of making sure you do this. That negative committee in the brain, you're not feeding it, right? You're not feeding into it, which is what keeps it going. You're shutting them down. Well, what happens when you shut people down in real life who are bullying you, who are rude to you or whatever? What happens when you keep shutting them down? They eventually stop and move on to another target. So this is essentially what you're doing in your own brain. It's a little bit of a mind fuck because this is in your own brain, but there is proven stats and facts, and I don't have the exact percentage off the top of my head, but we are actually only about like 10 to 15% nicer to others than we are to ourselves. It's something like that. And you're like, oh my God, no, I'm way nicer to other people than myself. you're nicer, but I bet if people are really close to you when you're not in a great mood, I bet you're not, Princess Pollyanna. I know I'm not, right? So there are some clear action steps on what to do. If you choose not to do what I just taught you today, which I know for a fact works, and it's not the same old basic shit that you hear people talk about, then that is another giant clue and red flag that you have some sort of addiction, an addictive pull towards doing this self-sabotaging, comparisonitis, spin cycle, sinkhole behavior. You're addicted to getting into that victim state. You're addicted to getting in the martyr state. You're addicted to feeling helpless. You're addicted to feeling overwhelmed. And it's like, why would someone be addicted to that? Why would someone be addicted to heroin that's killing them, right? Why would someone be addicted to cigarettes? It's because there is a chemical change in our brain when we have an addiction to something. Those shame hits are like a dose of heroin in a different way. So if you aren't willing to do this and stick with this, it's a big sign that you need to do it even more. So let me know what you think. Take a screenshot, share this episode, leave a 5-star written review on iTunes. I need to know if this is going to help you change that comparisonitis in your life. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.